More people need to learn and share with other people. So now what happened was I got one feedback from a person on the West Coast side that when I'm doing it, when other people take over, their focus gets lost. Any of you experience that kind of thing over here? Please raise your hand. Okay. Keep your hand raised throughout. I want to see the full screen. Okay. So essentially, out of the 140 connections we have over here, about 10, 12 people raise their hands. Okay. So now that I realize that, what I'm going to do is, if we have any one person take over, we will have we won't have like 3, 4 different people doing it. We limit the number of people. So that way, if there are only, but we do want more people to get trained in it, right? So we'll see how that goes. So having taken that, so let's begin with the chakra vibrations. Okay. So bring your awareness to the perineum, and that is the place for anybody who is new between the anus and the genital area. And there we gently squeeze with the vibration LUM. And you use the mudra, the little finger pressing against the thumb. Take a deep breath in. LUM. 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 Release the mudra and continue. Lum. Bring your awareness 1 inch above the perineum. And there, that's a place behind where we urinate. As we squeeze from front to back, we do the mantra, we vibrate the mantra there, VAM, and we keep the mudra, the ring finger pressed against the thumb. Let's take a deep breath in. VAM. 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 Vum. 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 Release the mudra and continue. Vum. Now we bring our awareness behind the navel and we do the mantra Ram. So squeeze gently, pulling back at the navel, and use the mudra, the middle finger pressing against the thumb. Take a deep breath in. Ram. 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 Release the mudra and continue. Ram. One more time. Ram. Ram. Bring the awareness in between the breasts in the middle of the body. And there we do the mantra Yam. And here we have the index finger pressed against the thumb. Take a deep breath in. Yam. Yum. Yum. Yum.
Yum.
Release the finger and continue. Yum.
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 Now let's come to the throat, and here we will do the sound hum. Keep the mudra with a light fist and a thumb facing upward. Take a deep breath in. Hum. Hum.
Hum.
Hum.
Hum.
Release the mudra and continue. Hum. Hum. That's good. Middle of the head, we do the sound chum, same thumbs up mudra. Chum. 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 Release the mudra and continue. Chum. Chum. Now to the top of the head, we do the mantra Om, and here again thumbs up. Take a deep breath in. Om. 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 Release the mudra and continue. Om. Om. Last time. Om. Now we go on to Ujjayi Pranayama. So today I will take the Ujjayi Pranayama myself. So close your eyes, and those of you who know it, please begin. And those of you who are new, with your eyes closed, observe your throat and keep the focus on the throat all the time. And keeping the focus on the throat, make a big smile. And when you do that, observe the gentle stretch in the throat. Keeping the awareness in the throat, you inhale and exhale slowly and feel like the air is rubbing along the throat. Feels almost like restricted breathing. This you do both for inhalation and exhalation. I will demo as to how slowly we inhale and how we exhale by raising the hand as I inhale and bring it down as I exhale. Continue. Now we are going to go on to the next exercise. Here I'm going to give you an option. Those of you who want to do the mantra exercise can do that. And those of you who want to do Kapalbhati can do that. So for the mantra-based exercise, if you focus and feel a line from the sternum going up to the top of the head, visualize the mantra Haim Em Haim Em Haim Em flowing through. The three syllables are Haim, Im, and So please continue that. And those of you who would like to do something more vigorous and do Kapalbhati, and if you're on the expert level, I would encourage you to do Kapalbhati, not otherwise. Otherwise, do the mantra. In the expert level, you want to exhale fully, and in the exhale state, do in that exhale state, you do gentle further exhalations. It is gentle, short exhalations that you're doing.
Dr. I cannot see your face.
Yeah, you don't have to see my face, but that's fine. When you do that, make sure the shoulder is not going up and down. If the shoulder goes up, you're putting too much effort, okay? So for most of you, the mantra may be more comfortable, but for some of the younger people who want something more vigorous, they can try Kapalbhati this way. If you cannot do it this way, and if there is too much stress coming on, strain coming on, don't do it, do the mantra.
Dr. Rajan, this is Balagopal. How many times you have to do the gentle exhale for Kapalbhati?
Do it for 5. We will do it now for about 3 to 5 minutes. It's
Okay.
not number of times that matter.
No, the gentle exhale couple times. After you make the big exhale, gentle exhale couple times.
You continue for the whole length.
Okay. Sure. Thank you.
It has to be gentle enough so that you don't feel tired.
Okay,
if you
sure.
put strain, you will not be able to do it.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Hari Ramanathan, your shoulder is going up and down. You're doing excessive strain in Kapalbhati.
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
Rajanji, can you see mine? I'll do Kapalbhati a little bit.
Yeah, keep going. I'll be watching everyone. Now that sounded like Ravinder Gupta. Was it Ravinder
Yes.
Gupta? Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
continue. You're doing it perfectly. Carry on.
Thank you.
Now for everyone together, we can do the Bahya Kumbhak. The Bahya Kumbhak is you fully exhale, you pull up the pelvic floor, abdominal area goes in, and then as you continue to exhale from the chest, slowly, once the chest is empty, you bring the chin towards the chest. You hold out the breath for like 2-3 seconds or whatever time is comfortable for you, and you slowly begin inhaling and come up. And then without taking another spare breath in between, you exhale again and do the same thing again and inhale after a few seconds coming up. Let's see if we can do about 5 to 6 continuous breaths together. Let's start.
Can see you.
Excellent. So now we go on to our neck exercise. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, bring one ear towards the shoulder. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, go towards the other shoulder. Inhale, come back and continue. When you come back with the next inhalation, we will start looking over one shoulder as you exhale and inhale, come back. Exhale, look over the other shoulder. Inhale, come back. Remember, when you're comfortable with the exercise, keep the eyes closed and keep your awareness within. Feel the sensations of whatever you're doing. As you inhale, come back to the center. And now complete the exhalation and inhale, take the head back. And exhale, bring the chin towards the chest. Continue. As you exhale, bring the chin down towards the chest. And now as we inhale, we do a 360-degree turn, rotate leftward and backward, and exhale and come down to the chin again and continue the same orientation of the circle. Inhale half a circle and exhale the other half. Now let's go in the reverse direction. Okay. Now we go on to the shoulder exercise, alternating between one shoulder and the other. Inhale, lift up one shoulder. Exhale, rotate it back and bring it down. Inhale the other shoulder. Rotate it back and bring it down as you exhale. Continue. Okay. Now we go on to the hand exercises. Lift up your palms. Inhale, make the palms perpendicular to the forearms and stretch out the fingers. Exhale, thumb in and a downward facing fist. Let's continue. 1. Exhale. 2. Exhale. 3. Exhale. 4. Exhale. 5. Exhale. 6. Exhale. 7. Exhale. 8. Exhale. 9. Exhale. 10. Exhale. Now, as you inhale and exhale, rotate around the fist. Let's go opposite direction. Okay. Now bring the elbows in line with the shoulders. Inhale and exhale. Keep the palms loose. And while you're moving around the wrist as the primary movement, you also move around all the fingers, finger joints, and a little bit of the elbow and shoulder as well. Let's go backward. Okay. Interlock the hands and bring it behind your head. And as you exhale, rotate to one side. Inhale, come back. Exhale, go the other way. Make sure the head is straight and the elbows are in a 180-degree angle to each other. In other words, perfectly straight, sticking out of the shoulders. Don't bring it forward. Okay. Now, let's do something we don't do often. Bring your hands behind your back and get hold of the elbows if you can, or hold wherever you can. And as you exhale, again we turn. Inhale, come back. Continue. Exhale. Inhale. Okay. Now we'll skip a few exercises. Cross your leg over the other knee or the opposite knee and get hold of your knee on the top with your interlocked hands. As you exhale, pull. And as you pull, turn your head to the same side as the knee you're holding. Inhale, release, exhale, pull and turn. Now cross the other leg over. And as we exhale, we pull and turn. Okay. We'll skip the cycling exercise, but we'll do something else. Keep your hand, if you're sitting on the floor, behind you with your palms down behind you and the fingers pointing forward. If you're sitting on a chair, grab the sides of the chair just behind you, kind of move up from the chair a little bit forward so there is a little space behind you, and keeping the hand firmly on the chair, inhale and lift up and make a backward bend, a backward bend. Stay there. Inhale and exhale and stay there. Take a slow, deep breath in, and as you exhale, come up. Now we'll go on to the Bhastrika. Actually, before we do the Bhastrika Pranaya, today I want to do the alternate nostril breathing for just 1 minute. So close your right nostril, inhale from the left and feel the vibration cross over and go up to the middle of the brain. And then close the left nostril and you exhale through the right nostril with the vibration coming the other way. And then inhale from here, feel it lodge there, close and exhale from here. Continue. That is good. Now we go on to our Bhastrika Pranayam. So Srijit will lead that. We'll have one person lead so that there is not too many people who are, cycling. So Srijit, we will take breaths in one cycle because we don't have time for two rounds.
Sure. Yeah. So we'll go to the. So Narayanji, are we doing only the hand portion? That's what you meant?
Actually, is there anybody who does it with their belly, hand in the belly? There probably are. So show both.
Okay. So we are doing the Bhastrika Pranayam or deep breathing. So there are two ways to do it. Please keep your spine straight. Then bring your hands to the abdomen area. And as we exhale, the stomach goes in. And as we inhale, stomach comes out, chest expands, shoulder pulls back. So I will repeat the one full cycle. As we exhale, abdomen area goes in. As we inhale, comes out, chest expands, and shoulder pulls back. The same can be done with hand position. Bring your elbows by the side, loose fist. And as we do inhale, abdomen area fins in, chest expands, shoulder pulls back, palm fully open. And as we exhale, close the palm and everything collapses.
Let's start. 1, continue.
2, exhale. 3, exhale. The exhale is longer than inhale. Exhale. 5, exhale. 6, exhale. 7, exhale. 8, exhale. 9, exhale. 10, exhale. 11, exhale. 12, exhale. 13, exhale. 14, exhale. 15, exhale. 16, exhale. 70, exhale. 80, exhale. 90, exhale. 20, exhale. 20,
Continue. 10 more. Let's go. 21. Exhale. 22. Exhale. 23. Exhale. 24. Exhale. 25. Exhale. 26. Exhale. 27. Exhale. 28. Exhale. And 29. Exhale. And last 30. Exhale. Eyes closed. Bring your hands down. Fully relax and observe the sensations in your head. This doing 30 breaths together is an exception. It is not recommended on your own when you're doing it. This only because we didn't have time for the second session. We did this together so that you can have maximal impact. When the sensations come down from the head and they flow down and they're left the head, at that time, mentally tell yourself, I give up all ideas and concepts and I care about nothing. Mentally feel like you're upwards and do your personal mantra if you have one. Otherwise, just watch your breath and listen to the Om in the background. Mentally affirm to yourself, may I be guided to fulfill the purpose for which I am born. And with that as the thought, gently lift up your hand and bring it 6 inches in front of your face and look straight into the palm of your hands. When you open your eyes, and with that, it is 6:30 East Coast time. So those of you who need to leave, that's fine. And those of you who are waiting for the Yoga Sutras, first we keep 5 to 10 minutes for any people who are new to introduce themselves. And the other is for any questions. So any new people who would like to introduce themselves, please speak up. If you have not had a chance to speak before and introduce yourself to the entire yoga family, you can do that now. And one other thing, please again, share this with more people. We are using only a third of the capacity we have. We have ability for 500 people to come on in video. Okay. So we are only using about 160.
Dr. Rajan, this is Balagopal again.
Yes.
Are you seeing patients on Sundays these days?
Yes. Yes.
You are? Okay.
Yes.
So I'll send you an email. I'll send you an email with the forms filled. You have talked to a doctor. So
Yeah. On Sundays and Thursdays, I'm available in the morning hours.
okay, sure. Thank you.
How do we share it with friends?
Well, whoever are your good friends and you think they can be helped, all you do is the email which you have gotten, reminding you of that. You can send it to them on the first day. And so somebody else will, with a different face, will have your name over there. So 2 people will be done. And if they like it the first day and they want to try it again, then they can go and register themselves and become independent. So just share your link with anyone else.
Okay.
On the daily reminder email, there is a registration link at the bottom where and that registration link for the East Coast Yoga and the West Coast Yoga. So you can just copy and paste that in the email and they can click on that registration link and register.
Great. Good.
Yeah. And Brahmji, as well as Rangaswamy Ponnappan, I have sent for both of you an email to connect you so that on the Orlando side, if you want to do something, you can.
Great.
And similarly, I have also sent an email to the 3 people from the Toronto group if they want to combine together.
Yeah, I received it, Dr. Narayanan, so I'm just working on it.
Sure, wonderful. Take it from me.
Thank you.
Dr. Rajan, what time there's a yoga on Sunday and Thursday morning? What time?
Same time, no difference.
Morning. You said is morning also doing?
No, it is just a therapy, individual therapy, people who have health conditions and they want to consult.
Oh.
No, Doctor, I think she's referring to the Friday now and the Sunday.
Sorry, we don't hear you. I think, okay. Now, Avni, you were saying something, say it again.
He was referring to the Friday session that's going to be longer and the Sunday session, which is going to be shorter now.
No. Actually, Friday session will not be longer here for the East Coast session. It's only for the West Coast. Okay. Okay, that's fine. Now, any other questions? Any other introductions? Okay, then I guess we have more time for the Yoga Sutras. Let's finish chapter 3 today. So, Srijit, yeah. Okay, so just to recall, in chapter 3, we are looking at all the extraordinary abilities that come, what are called siddhis in yoga, as a result of the process of connecting with the cosmos in samadhi. And the way in which it comes is the realization of bringing the point of focus, which is dharana, taking it into meditation, where you go beyond the mind, the mind shuts down. And then in samadhi, you're able to connect with the cosmos. And from there, the revelation comes about whatever is the point of focus. Okay. So, yes.
One question, Ravi Gupta here. One question I have is that when you get into a samadhi and you connect like that situation, but who is going to be asking the question?
Okay. I'll give you an example of this. Okay. So you see what happens is, you see, for me, I had a question in my mind going back many years back. You see, what had happened was I had studied the text of Shankaracharya called Viveka Chudamani. right?
Mhm.
And in that Viveka Chudamani, in the, I believe it is the second verse or so, he makes the statement, you're lucky to be born as a Vipra and as a male. So you're lucky to be born as a Brahmin and as a male in order to be able to read this document. That is how he kind of says. And so to me, when he makes that statement over there, I was, completely, surprised and shocked that a person like that will make a statement like that.
Mhm.
Okay. Those of you who have read the Viveka Chudamani, you go back to the second verse, you'll see that over there.
Yeah, I read it, but I never thought of that. Okay.
Okay. And so when I saw that, I used to have, somebody had given me a calendar with Adi Shankaracharya, the picture over there. It used to hang in my bedroom for many years. And so I used to look and wonder, what was his state of mind? But where was his awareness when he made a statement like that? So I would look at his face and wonder, and without even realizing, since I was doing my daily meditative practice, one day I was able to transcend time. And what was his state of mind when he was in this thing? And so this is how, by the inquiry process, you can figure out that Shankaracharya did not become fully realized till he had crossed the age of 28. And at the age of 32, he was gone. So the thing is, you see, anything he wrote before that, it was his experience. And many of you know from his lifetime that in the when he meets the Chandal in the Manikarnika Ghat, he basically tells him, he feels he's like a great Brahmin, so get out of the way, he tells him. And then he responds back to him and says, do you mean this body or the soul? And Shankaracharya is absolutely stupefied that a person will ask him a question like that, right? So the thing is, you see, obviously, there were things in his, at that point in time, he was not fully realized, right? So you see, what happens is, in the, if you look across the written literature anywhere, you will find people who are inquiring. They are writing about what they have experienced immediately in the inquiry, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they have fully realized the nature of existence. And this is common in every field of research. That's why first they will say something, this is what we have found, and they will give a recommendation. After another 20 years, they will say, no, that was not right. There is something else we had forgotten. It's something, this thing. So this is the process that works through. So the samyama process, what I was trying to, this process of how you inquire, is if you have a question in your mind, that stays in your mind, but you do your regular meditative practice, and one day the answer will come because of the meditative connectivity, the samadhi connectivity. A question answered?
Thank you so much. So beautifully explained.
Okay. So the now let's go. So we were explaining about these siddhis, or the unusual experiences that are explained in chapter 3. And as I explained earlier on, the question is, why are we discussing even the siddhis? Because the siddhis are not important. What you need to fulfill in your life is the only thing that is important, which is called your swadharma, the purpose for which you are born. So the understanding we have is, since Patanjali wrote the Yoga Sutras with the seeker in the mind, a person who seeks may get some of these experiences. And when they get these experiences, they shouldn't feel confused. And what is the greatest confusion that can occur? The greatest confusion that can occur is, because I have these experiences, I'm a greater person than other people around. And Patanjali Muni says later in this chapter, if you ever feel that way, that is the greatest misfortune you can have. And after that, in the next chapter, in chapter 4, he basically says that the final realization is that we are, whatever you can have infinite knowledge, but what you really need to know is very little. And the conclusion of what very little is, if you put together the second sutra of chapter 2, what does the second sutra of chapter 2 say? That the whole purpose of this Kriya Yoga is in order to realize that the body is only an instrument. And this is the whole point when Patanjali Muni in chapter 4 mentions that after you experience infinite knowledge, you realize what you really need to know is very little, is that you're only an instrument in order who is come into this body to fulfill the purpose of that of this life. And of course, in chapter 3, he makes the point, that is why don't think you're very great just because you have attained some siddhis. So,
but Rajanji, who defines the purpose of this life? Why it should be defined by somebody else?
Excellent question. The thing is, you see, the purpose of your life is already embedded within you as your program. Okay? And so what happens is, you don't have to do anything to reveal your purpose in life. The cosmos is revealing for you in every moment by bringing situations in life whereby you have to go and deal with that situation. And by dealing with that situation, you're fulfilling the purpose of your life. Now,
are you confined to that particular purpose? You cannot go beyond it?
Let's understand a little bit further over here. So this is a very important question that's relevant for so many people. Now, when things come and hit you in life, then in which case, how you respond is what matters. If you respond with reaction, it creates karmas. Now, remember, from the Yoga Sutra perspective, we separate in the first birth that you have, you come with a set of programs, and that is called kleshas. The new programs you create because of reactivity are called karmas. Okay? Now, given that you're working with all of this, of course, when we realize not to be reactive, we will just work out all these kleshas and karmas, and we go outside the cycle of birth and all of that. Now, what happens if you are sitting over here and you mindfully think, I should do this and not what is coming in front of you? Well, life has a way of showing you wherever the doors open easily and situations come in front of you, things happen. And they come in so many different ways. You see, when you were a young person, since most of the people here are in their adult life over here and beyond, the thing is, when we were young people, whether it was a parent or whether it was a friend or a relative, suggested something to you. Why don't you go and study this? Why don't you consider this? So you see, when all of these kinds of inspirations or thoughts come, these are all probably the words of the divine guiding you that makes you look in that direction. Now, on the other hand, you're looking at somebody who is a Bill Gates over there, and then you tell yourself, I want to become a Bill Gates, so that's what I'm going to do. Okay? And then what you do is you want to get there by hook or by crook, and so you do whatever is necessary to do that. Okay? And then, of course, you push it hard enough, then you might find yourself locked up in a jail later in life, right? So the thing is, if you, this thing. So what happens is, the nature of your orientation, where it needs to go, there will be influences and messages coming from various directions. What we need to learn is not to be stubborn. This is what I will do. I wouldn't do anything else. Just to give you a better example of this, I'm going back to the Bhagavad Gita, where Arjun is telling Krishna, what is the point of me coming into this battle and killing my own relatives? I'm better off going and doing meditation or out of this thing, rather than doing this heinous act of, killing my own kith and kin. Then Krishna tells him, listen, this is your duty. And now that you have come into this battlefield as a Kshatriya, this is what you have to do. But at the same time, he's telling him, if you don't do it, it'll get done any case. because the people who are standing over here, their lifetime is over. And then that is the Vishwarupa Darshana he gives, right? So in other words, what happens is each one of us have an orientation or trajectory that comes to us. And what is the spoiler of the whole thing? The spoiler is our mind getting too much attached. I want to do only this. I don't want to do that. And you know, when the mind gets too much attached, that's what deviates you. When the mind gets into this business, this is right, that is wrong. You see, when Swadharma comes, the moralities are not, don't come in the way. Think of it. The concept of morality is relative to each civilization, okay? Many of you coming from India, you're very familiar that if any of your, distant family or somebody fell in love with somebody else who was of a different language or a different caste or different, something, and then there is objection in the family, going outside that is adharmic. Have you heard any of these old people say such a thing? That kind of a statement is their very narrow mind, not realizing the swadharma of the person. People all confuse between morality system and the concept of dharma. The concept of swadharma only you can know within yourself. If you keep a calm mind with this meditative kind of mind and ask yourself, should I be engaged in this or not? If, of course, if the inner voice tells you this what seems right, that is what swadharma manifesting. But on the other hand, if you find that, somebody has a rigid view, somebody needs to mute. If you have a rigid view of right and wrong and things like that, and this is what society tells, then in which case that is not really the flow of dharma. It is somebody's narrow view, right? So this is where you need to ask yourself, you need to be guided, keep a calm mind, and the swadharma automatically unfolds. You don't have to do anything more than that. So Raviji, did that answer your question?
Thank you so much. You explained everything so well. Means there are always some questions, but I will not take more than this time. Thank you so much.
Okay. Arun Chakala, did you have a question?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Go
Yes, I do. So every day, or in a kid's life, right? He hears a lot of things about all kinds of things. Okay. Now, I mean, if he closes his eyes and he thinks about something for some time, given the information on his head, he'll pick one path. Again, another day, given the next set of information or his thought process, he'll think something else. So how do I know I am on the right path? How do I know I have picked my swadharma? And then you told the case of the guy who went to jail, right? Because he did not listen. How do we know that he was not following his swadharma? And why are we deciding that going to jail was the wrong thing for him?
Okay. The key thing I'm again saying, the point is that don't be stubborn. Be open-minded. Then in which case your swadharma will guide you. Right? So
Rajan, I have a question.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I've been an entrepreneur for at least 7-8 years.
Yes.
66 years full time.
Yes.
And I feel like this is what's my calling.
Mm-hmm.
I keep going on this path.
Yes.
One initiative after the other, after the other, after the other.
Yes.
None of it has succeeded the way
Yes.
I had imagined it in my head.
Yes.
Is entrepreneurship my swadharma in that sense, or it's not?
Do you want me to say it publicly here?
Say it, I don't care.
I don't think it is your swadharma. You're meant you're meant for doing something that is impacting society rather than running a for-profit business.
Okay. All right. I mean, at least that's what I understood from my Jyotish, my Kundli analysis also.
Yeah.
But a man has to feed himself.
Yeah.
Right? Where is that going to happen?
You see, what happens is society has its way of doing that. Okay. There will be a way in which it will all come to you. Whether it is your wife who is feeding you or somebody else, it'll all happen. Okay?
All right.
So I have a question here. So Swadharma is also connected to your gunas. So you can always modify the gunas appropriately, even though your core gunas would probably, be there. So
Yeah. Actually, what it is gunas are on a lower category than the Swadharma. The Swadharma is the unfolding of the original program. The original program, when it gets an energy, electrical energy, as when we come into this body, the manifestation of that energy is in the form of the three gunas. So literally, if you are a person who is an electrical engineer, you will understand the three kinds of flow of electrical energy going through a circuitry, right? The three kinds of flow are the three kinds of guna. So the flowing of the energy that causes the guna is simply towards the manifestation of the program within or your Swadharma within, and the gunas are downstream elements and not relevant with respect to Swadharma. Whatever is your Swadharma, guna will flow according to that.
So could one say that Swadharma is more or less something intuitive to you? I mean,
that is correct. And
Okay.
that is the reason we are more and more saying, listen to the voice of your conscience within and keep a calm mind always. Keep a calmness in the mind, open mind, makes you receptive to all the inner messages you're receiving within.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Rajanji,
Yes.
yeah, this is Ramesh.
Yes.
I think this Swadharma, finding Swadharma is really such an important topic.
Yes.
So that's why I'm kind of want you to dwell more on it from various different angles. I look at my life and I find that, I kept a very open mind regarding my health situation. So it took about 35 years of keeping open mind, but finally God provided a solution to that incurable problem, and you were the instrument for it. Okay. But when I really think about variety of interest I have, my mind is very puzzled in the sense that I want to be, as an entrepreneur, I want to be in a business. Okay, and I am in the business. I want to promote yoga therapy. I want to promote Hindu Dharma, what Hindu Dharma has to offer to the humanity. Through that, I have an interest in a way of politics as well. Not necessarily myself being in politics, but supporting the right politicians. So, in all this process, what is my Swadharma? I'm trying to figure that out. Is all of this is my Swadharma?
Actually, all of it is your Swadharma. So the thing is basically, some of which which are not easily coming to you and you're pushing, they may not be part of your Swadharma, but pretty much most of the things you're doing are within the stream. And when people come to you or you hear of it and you take action and all the connections happen, you see, when it is meant to happen, you have seen enough of this. When things are meant to happen, they all come together very quickly. And things, when they are not meant to happen, you see one roadblock after the other. So you have figured it out.
No, I mean, that is true. When people come to me, it really becomes very obvious to me that this is what I'm supposed to do.
Exactly.
And it happens. Okay. So that what Swadharma means, Swadharma doesn't necessarily mean just one thing.
Exactly.
It could be a variety of things.
Exactly.
Okay.
And by the way, Rameshji and I have spent several hours of this discussion. And you see, after me, I think within this group, he's the best person to explain what Swadharma is. So please continue. If you have any questions, I think you can address it to Rameshji as well.
I have a question. A criminal acts according to criminal's conscience. Is that criminal's swadharma?
Actually, I'll share two things with you. You see, this is somebody who is a very good friend of Rameshji and mine, somebody called Yashwant Pathak, who is in Tampa, Florida. He kind of shared one story with me. You see, he has been a person who has been bringing together indigenous societies all over the world through an organization called International Center for Cultural Studies. And so during working through this, and he has gone through all over the world, but in India and specifically, there is a whole set of people who throughout their generations, they have been living a life through stealing and killing. You know, there's robbers and dacoits that you have heard of. That is the way they have grown up their life. And actually, they have no sense that they should be doing anything different. Okay? And so that is the way they have grown up in their life. And they have no sense of remorse because they killed anyone, because that's the way they have been, right? And as part of this group and all of this, they have tried to reform people, okay? And make them look. Once a person becomes aware, that is when karma sets in. Till that point in time, that is their orientation of life. That may be their swadharma. Now, coming from the tradition you come from, you probably know Valmiki, who was the author of Ramayana, right? He was a person who was a dacoit. He used to kill people and rob them, right? And somewhere along the road, he met someone who told him, you know, what kind of this sin that you're doing. And then he said, you know, what sin? I have to feed my family. And so he asked him, does your wife also support you to kill people? So when that happened, he went and asked his wife. And then, of course, the turnover of Valmiki is the story from where how Ramayana and all of that comes through, right? So the key part of it is, as long as one feels true to one inner self, and when you do that, but when the time has come to change, somebody will come and give you a message, and that message will strike home like it did for Valmiki, right? So the thing is, you see, it is not for us to judge at any point in time, but as we see and as we work as instruments, whatever way in which the world is to be affected in a small way or a big way by each one of us as an instrument.
Yeah, Rajanji, for some people, they're like a dry fuel. It's just a little spark.
Yes.
It changes their life.
Exactly.
And for other people, repetitive message of the same thing doesn't touch them.
The reason is because their mind is too stressed and blocked. Only when the mind becomes clear, you become receptive. And that is the reason in our Indian tradition, to do meditative practice on a daily basis is considered extremely important. That is how you keep the mind clear. Actually, our time is up, but I will spend 1 minute to share one more thing. You see, it was, for me, the time had come when I was 21 years old. And at that time, there was this one person in India who suggested to me, whom I was talking, why don't you go and try the meditation of transcendental meditation of Maharishi Mahesh Yogi? So the way he said it drew all my curiosity. I went and learned that meditation technique. The moment I learned that meditation technique, within 1 week, I felt completely my head clearing out. And it was such a powerful experience where my concentration improved, my receptivity to be calm and receptive to whatever is coming, everything increased. And that is what took me forward in life. So the thing is, again, the point is, that is what we are talking about, where the moment we clear our mind through these practices, increases our receptivity and our swadharma becomes easier to unfold. Ramesh, you want to say something else?
No, I mean, see, as a matter of fact, the biggest thing I learned through you, I used to think that the only way you get moksha is you have to go to Himalayas and, you know, take sannyas and do all that and do meditation, you know. But what I understood is if you really follow your Swadharma with no reactiveness and just be open, that is what really Adhyatma is, that is what really spirituality is, and keep no negative feelings about anybody.
Exactly.
And essentially, if you stay on the positive path, follow your Swadharma, you will automatically get a moksha, whether you are in Grihastha ashram or you are in sannyasa ashram. Doesn't really matter.
Thank you so much. Just in closing this session, I will make one last remark. That one last remark is, I had mentioned it the other day, that too many people in the Hindu tradition have called the Yoga Sutra and all of this as Moksha Shastra. In fact, Moksha Shastra is secondary. The primary is Dharma Shastra. This is the reason in all our Hindu system, the concept of Dharma is something which is more important than moksha. Dharma automatically leads to moksha. You don't have to worry about it. With that as the thought, we will resume tomorrow and we can have further discussion. Please write down your questions.
Thank you for a very productive session.
Can I ask one thing?
Go ahead.
Okay, Dr. Rajan, I want to tell you, you gave the example like you were 21-year-old and that thing happened to you. I'm 70-year-old and it happened to me now after taking your class.
Wonderful.
And I just feel like I want to talk about yoga all the time. I want to go do this. Somehow there is a big change in me, and how I didn't get it before. And now at this age, like when somebody told me and I got so into it. So is this matter like you get in old age or you get in young age? Why I didn't get this knowledge?
The awakening comes all of us at a different time, at different moments in life.
I would say,
Dr. Narayan, and many of us are awakening in a smaller way or big ways.
I would say the agenda was different at that time. Now your agenda is different now.
We will continue this discussion, Kamleshi, tomorrow.
How can we keep thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Bye-bye.
Thank you, yoga family.
We will continue our discussion, Anjana ji and everybody else. Okay. Bye-bye. Have a good night. You know, I have to find out my life's purpose also. I feel like I've kind of wasted my life. You know, why did come on?
Balmugun, introspect in the night. You will get it.
There's nothing like wasting life, Balmukunji.
I know.
There is time for everything, you know.
There's time for everything, exactly.
That's right.
Right. There was a time when I was supposed to meet Dr. Rajan and get initiated into all this.
That's right.
So,
you meet the right person at the right time.
Exactly. I had to be prepared by all my other life experiences to be relevant here today.
Yeah, you might not have listened to him before.
Yes.
He would have said something and
yes.
it would have passed over you. You said, forget it.
Sometimes you have to go through these experiences because otherwise you would always feel, I wish I would have tried that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So to really get out of all this, whatever your
I think the right attitude is I think the right attitude is once you choose something, just go through it. Don't repent. I should have done this way. I should have done that way. That produces stress. The best thing to do is just eat. Have the guts to eat what is there. That's it.
Yeah, take care of the time to come and the present.
Can you, instead of repenting, is there a possibility that you go back and take a step back and then
all you can do is think about it, not stress upon it, right? Don't put fear.
Don't ever repent. See, I had that big problem that I used to feel guilty about a lot of things which I did. I felt that I did wrong. But then he explained to me once, that is what Cosmos meant to do at that point. That's what the thought process you had. So you did what was right at that moment. So just accept that and forget about it and move on.
I agree with that, right? As long as you have not harmed anybody, you don't have to do punya, but do not do harm to anybody. As long as your action has not harmed anybody, you're good. You don't have to worry.
Unintentionally, you can harm. That is not. See, that is again cannot be.
That is beyond your this thing. Sometimes it happens.
Yeah. Agreed. Well, 7:06.
Thank you. Thank you.
We'll continue our discussion. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Balmukund. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you,
Bye-bye,
everybody.
everybody.
Thank you, Ramesh ji. Thank you.